Some relationships, they're your anchor, right? They're going to keep you sane.
Absolutely.
But then there are, well, a few specific kinds, almost like these archetypal love stories that seem built to do the exact opposite. They promise everything, stability, devotion, a future. But what they actually deliver is this really specific kind of chaos, the kind that makes you genuinely question your own mind.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about like a bad fit or the usual relationship bumps. This is different.
Yeah.
Deeper.
It is.
And that's really what we're diving into today. This particular despair-inducing scenario, the one that leaves you thinking you're losing your grip.
Exactly. And that feeling, that internal question of, am I going crazy? That's actually often a pretty rational response when you look at the psychological dynamics playing out.
Okay.
So yeah, our mission today really is to try and offer a map. We want to, forewarn you, maybe help you feel less isolated, if this sounds familiar, by identifying the specific, often maddening traits of this relationship labyrinth.
A labyrinth. I like that.
And it's a labyrinth built fundamentally on avoidance. That's the key.
Okay, avoidance. But the way in the entrance to this labyrinth, it doesn't feel like avoidance at all, does it? It feels amazing.
No, not at first. That's the hook.
You meet this person, and honestly, they seem terrific, like really great.
Ticking all the boxes.
Totally. They look good, they're clever, funny. But the really potty part, the part that pulls you in, is the promise of something lasting.
The forever talk.
Yes. They talk about deep love right away sometimes. They talk long term. And if you're the one falling for them, it's this thrilling idea. Like finally someone sees you, someone chooses you.
That initial intensity, that thrill, it's crucial because it sets this baseline. It's the feeling you're always desperately trying to get back to later on.
Right.
But then, and this is the key psychological shift, just after things feel stable, after a certain amount of niceness or closeness or commitment is established, once they kind of feel like they have you, that's when the cycle kicks in.
And it's not usually dramatic, is it? That's what's so confusing.
Exactly. For true madness to really build up, the problems that start cropping up are often small. Tiny even. Chronic little slights. Almost designed, unconsciously of course, to make you constantly second-guess yourself. Am I overreacting? Did I just imagine that weirdness?
Okay, let's make that concrete. Yeah. Because those small things, they really add up. Like picture this. You finally get a free afternoon. You're excited, maybe plan a beautiful walk by the river. You're hoping for connection.
Yeah.
But your partner is just instantly somewhere else. Glued to their phone, they seem grumpy, and when you ask, gently, hey, what's wrong? They just snap back, unconvincingly, nothing, again and again.
Ugh, the nothing. That refusal to engage right there, that's a classic early sign. It's this constant low-level withholding. That defines the pattern.
And if you push it, if you say, come on, something's clearly up.
They have to pull back further. Because for the avoidant person, you trying to get closer is the problem. The proximity is already feeling like too much.
Wow. So the very act of seeking connection feels like pressure to them.
In that moment, yes. Or think about coming home. End of the day, you expect a normal hello, maybe a hug.
Yeah.
But instead you walk in and you just feel it, this weird, thick disengagement in the air.
Oh, I know that feeling.
They might say they're feeling a bit weird or stressed, maybe just tired, but they seem completely elsewhere. It creates this really peculiar, unreadable atmosphere.
And the killer part?
The killer part is they're often busy messaging other people, right there in front of you, visibly engaged with someone else while you're getting the closed door.
That atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's psychological warfare, almost, because you can't pin it down. How do you argue with an atmosphere?
You can't. That's the point. It keeps you off balance.
And then sometimes the rebuffs get a little sharper. Not huge, but sharper. Like you plan a nice, quiet weekend, looking forward to just chilling together. Then Saturday afternoon rolls around, and they just announce, oh, I'm going to that party across town with Sarah and Mike. No discussion.
And you weren't invited.
Exactly. Conspicuously not invited. And they leave looking, pretty trim, as the description goes, all ready for their separate fun.
See, that pattern, prioritizing outside connections, often kind of fleeting ones, over the intimacy you've built, it's a core strategy for maintaining distance. They need to constantly reassert their independence, often unconsciously.
Okay.
And sometimes it moves beyond just maintaining distance into, active provocation, almost testing you.
Like the museum story.
Exactly like the museum story. You're trying to have a nice time, maybe talk about the art, and your partner starts describing someone they just saw across the room. going on about their lovely hair or how they thought, that person would be nice to go to bed with.
Oh, my God. And you're just supposed to. Wait, laugh along.
You're supposed to be a sport, swallow the jealousy, the hurt. They frame their attraction to someone else as this trivial, amusing observation. And you're forced to basically affirm that you're cool, you're not possessive, even though inside it's like a knife twist.
That's the real gut punch, isn't it? It completely undermines your security.
Totally. It sets up this dynamic where your feelings, your need for security always comes second to their need for whatever it is, external validation, maybe just the thrill of boundary pushing.
And inevitably, this emotional distance leaks into physical distance.
Always. You try to initiate intimacy, maybe just hold hands, or you hint you'd like to make love.
And there's always an excuse.
Always a perfectly reasonable, small excuse. It's too hot, it's too cold, they ate too much, their back hurts, stress from work, they're tired. It's never a flat, just constant deferral.
It's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Precisely.
And that pileup of tiny rejections, that slow freeze, that's what leaves you lying awake at night, again, with that specific little ache in your chest. That's where the feeling of losing your mind really takes root.
Yes. That low-level chronic emotional malnutrition, it just accumulates until finally the person on the receiving end just snaps.
You've had enough.
You've had enough. You've tried being the good boy or good girl. You've tried believing the excuses, making allowances. But something tips the scale. Maybe it's one dismissive comment too many on the phone, or the flirting gets way too obvious in public. Or you get shut out of their plans again, and you just say it maybe in anger, maybe just pure exhaustion. I can't do this anymore. I've had enough.
Okay. The breaking point.
Oh.
So this is where the script flips in this really, really maddening way, right?
Yeah.
What's the immediate reaction from the avoidant partner?
Oh, it's instantaneous. And it's not reflection. It's panic. It's immediate, desperate denial, followed very quickly by gaslighting.
Why denial? Why not just relief if they wanted distance?
Because they don't actually want you to leave. They just want you at a safe distance. You leaving triggers their own abandonment fears. But admitting fault, that requires closeness, vulnerability, which is the other thing they fear. So denial is the only option.
So what does that sound like?
It sounds like, you're imagining things. That's not what happened. It was nothing. You're being way too sensitive. And then almost immediately, they flip the blame. You become the bad guy.
Oh.
You're being ungrateful after everything I do. You're throwing away something amazing because you're insecure. Why do you always have to create drama? You're suddenly the problem for reacting to their behavior.
Wow. It's incredible that someone can just flatly deny reality like that. What does that do to the person hearing it?
It's devastating. It makes you doubt your own sanity, your own perception. You might even leave thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe I am the problem.
But the story doesn't end with the breakup, does it? Because they have one more move.
No, it rarely ends there cleanly. They have the ace up their sleeve, the seductive return.
The inevitable reunion. The Hoover maneuver, some call it.
Exactly. Hours, days, maybe a few weeks after the split. Just when you're starting to maybe feel a bit stronger, they reappear. And they come back with these incredibly powerful messages, declarations of adoration, profound apologies, promises, really convincing promises to do far, far better this time.
They become the person you fell in love with again.
Temporarily, yes. All the charm, the focus, the intensity is back.
And of course you want to believe it. You go back. Because deep down, you never actually wanted to leave the person, did you? You just wanted the behavior to stop. You wanted them to be close.
Precisely. You left because they were pushing you away. Now they're seemingly pulling you close, finally seeing your pain, wanting to fix it. So the old intimacy flickers back. You have that amazing makeup dinner, the affection returns.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now we're back on track.
And that brief window, that return to the good times, psychologists call it intermittent reinforcement. It's incredibly powerful for bonding. It hooks you deeper because it seems to confirm all your hopes. But the collapse is inevitable because the underlying dynamic hasn't changed. Give it a few hours, a few days, maybe weeks if you're lucky. The avoidant partner's anxiety about the closeness kicks back in. And once again, they go distant, disengaged, maybe irritable or passive-aggressive. Or they flirt with someone else. The cycle resets.
And this can go on for years.
Oh, absolutely, years. Leaving the other partner completely drained, confused, and wondering why they can't seem to make it work.
Okay, so let's really get into the why. We need to talk about the core psychological engine driving this. You called it avoidance, but what does that mean here? What defines this avoidant person?
Well, it's this awkward and actually very peculiar aspect of psychology. The avoidant person genuinely wants love,
Mm.
often desperately, right up until the moment it's actually offered reliably, consistently.
Wait, so getting what they want is the problem.
Essentially, yes. For them, the full realization of that deep wish having real, dependable closeness triggers more fear than delight.
Fear of what?
It could be fear of being engulfed, losing themselves, fear of vulnerability. Often it's rooted in early experiences, maybe a fear of depending on someone who will inevitably let them down or leave, just like someone might have done in their past. So reliable closeness feels dangerous, unsafe.
But that seems like such a contradiction. If they fear intimacy, why get into relationships at all? Why pursue someone?
That is the core paradox. They seek relationships because the need for connection is real, it's human. But once you commit, once there's real proximity, their unconscious mind panics and starts taking these careful, subtle steps to reestablish distance.
To create space again.
Yes, too much niceness, too much certainty, too much success in the relationship feels threatening. They can't tolerate it for long. They don't want you to leave, not really, but they can't stand you standing right there reliably next to them. They need you available, but sort of at arm's length.
Wow. So the relationship is fundamentally about the chase, or maintaining that distance, not about actually being together comfortably.
You've got it, which leads to this ultimate maddening contradiction. We could call it the cliff edge metaphor.
Okay.
The moment you, their lover, finally get fed up and take steps to leave, the moment you get angry, declare you've had enough, walk away. That's when the avoidant partner suddenly rediscovers their intense love for you.
When you're backing away.
Exactly. They panic and they reel you back in with incredible skill and passion. They want you most desperately when you are dangling from that cliff edge, about to fall away forever.
Only to push you away again once you've scrambled back up,
Yeah,
regained your footing, and are standing close on the ledge beside them.
precisely. And that dynamic is the engine of the madness. Because they won't admit what they're doing, they often don't consciously know they're doing it. It's an unconscious pattern.
So where does that leave someone stuck in this cycle? What's the way out?
Well, the very first step, and maybe the hardest, is simply validating your own reality.
Believing yourself.
Yes, you are not deluded. You're not imagining the pattern. This is a recognized thing. Insecure attachment, avoidant patterns, whole books, academic papers are written about this. You have to stop accepting their denials and their gaslighting and start trusting the evidence of your own feelings and experiences.
Okay. Trust yourself first. What's next?
Second, it can be helpful, though not essential, to get curious about their past. Not to excuse the behavior, let's be clear, but to understand its roots.
Like looking for clues.
Kind of. Ask yourself, or maybe even gently ask them if possible, about their upbringing. Were they reliably cared for? Did they feel consistently loved and safe? Or is it more likely they experienced rejection, instability, emotional unavailability? Often they're unconsciously replaying a dynamic, doing to you some version of what was done to them as a way to protect themselves from anticipated pain.
So context for them. But then there's the really hard part, looking at yourself.
This is the truly arduous thought, but it's critical. You have to ask, what might be satisfying for me in staying in this situation? Why am I drawn to this push-pull dynamic?
Oof. That's tough.
It is. Is there something in my own past I'm trying to fix? Am I drawn to chasing someone who's unavailable because maybe deep down I'm uncomfortable with steady, reliable love too?
Am I trying to win a love that feels withheld, hoping that if I can just get this difficult person to finally commit, it will heal some old wound?
Exactly. Do you, in your own quiet way, have as much trouble receiving consistent, easy love as they seem to have giving it?
That realization that maybe the chaos feels more familiar, more normal somehow than simple calm. That's a big step towards choosing differently.
It's huge. And to really cement that choice, to get that final dose of perspective, the sources suggest something a bit philosophical.
Okay.
Take a moment to really contemplate the brevity of life. Maybe literally visit a quiet old graveyard, or just sit somewhere peaceful and think about it.
Why a graveyard? That sounds morbid.
It sounds morbid, but the point is to feel the shortness of your time here, to really internalize it. And then ask yourself that critical question. Do I really want this exhausting, repetitive cycle to define my one precious life? Look around, maybe metaphorically, at couples who aren't constantly tortured. Couples who seem to have found a way to be together with, well, with easy, reliable affection. It is possible.
So it comes down to a final choice.
Always.
Are you finally truly done with the chase? Done with the perils of the avoidantly attached person, the one who runs just when you get close.
And perhaps, more importantly,
Are you ready to be brave enough? Brave enough to let someone into your life who is actually as willing to receive your love, to stand there reliably on the ledge with you, as they are to give theirs. We hope this map, this deep dive, helps you find your way towards that kind of emotional consistency.